Hello, Darin Martineau here from Master Magic University. And in this video, I want to talk about top 10 out-of-print magic books. That's right, the top 10 out-of-print magic books. Okay, we're going to start off with number one, my mentor's mentor, Ed Marlo's Mint, Marlo in New Tops. Now, this is originally his magazines. They've been put into book form recently, and they're very incredible routines. I picked some of my favorite routines to highlight, but there's many more. I'll be making many other videos and highlighting different aspects from these books, but these are some of my favorite books, and these are 10 out of print magic books, like I said. So this is number one, and it's Mint, which is Marlo and New Tops. Of course, there's Mint 1 and Mint 2, and there's, like I said, a new thing that just came out. It's a new book compiling all of these. But some of my favorite routines, and I've done some instructional videos on an old YouTube channel about these. Cardician Makes Good is an incredible routine from there. Another one is Blonde Ambition. It's Marlo's ambitious card routine, and this is very incredible. Marlo's version is more deceptive and technically refined than the standard ambitious card routines, and it combines his original sleights, false counts, and controls, and that's what makes it very elegant and very impossible to spectators. The next thing you're going to learn in here, there are some key moves in these books, are the Marlo Prayer Cull, which is also known, aka as the Hofzinser's Cull. The OLRAM, which is Marlo spelled backwards. Marlo spelled backwards is the OLRAM Subtlety. A.T.F.U.S, which stands for Anytime Face Up Switch. I learned these moves when I was like 14, 15 years old, and I remember magicians asking me, "Hey, do you know A.T.F.U.S?" And I was just like 15 years old, and I already knew this. That's what happens when you have the world's greatest card magician, Alan Ackerman, as your mentor. Um, so this is a foundational series of advanced card magic and card sleights from one of the most influential card men in all of history, and that is Ed Marlo, who had over 2,000 creations and over 60 books. They've written over 75 books, probably over 80 books on him by now. So that's number one. Number two is from my old friend, Michael Skinner. We used to hang out at the Cavalier in Las Vegas, and he has a book called Michael Skinner's Classic Sampler. Now, these books are hard to find. My friend Richard Hatch, which used to own H&R Books, you can still find some of these used magic salesmen around, and they have websites, and so I will see if I can find you a good one and put it in there. Okay, but there are some places to find these out of print magic books, like I said, and I will talk about that in another video. But there's many dealers out there. Okay, so in number two, Michael Skinner's Classic Sampler, which I have most all of these books. I think I have all these books. I'm a magic collector as well, and so Michael's thinking, structure, and economy of movement are legendary. At one point, he was known as one of the greatest close-up magicians in the world. He performed at the Magic Castle for 2 weeks straight, never repeated one trick. And long story short, that's how he got his job working for the Lily Langtree, okay, when Steve Wynn met him there at the castle and impressed him with that. So I want to mention that. That's number two, Michael Skinner, okay? Number three is the Vernon Chronicles, volumes 1 through 4. This was put out many years ago by Bruce Cervon, one of the proteges of Vernon, and Stephen Minch. These are must-own Vernon books, but all volumes are long out of print, and these are selling for hundreds of dollars on like eBay and online and stuff like that. These are very, very incredible. It contains Vernon's pet routines, advanced sleights, magic philosophy, and unpublished material. So some of the best things that are in here are the No Sleight Triumph. Chris Kenner has a No Sleight Triumph, by the way, and I also have a new Triumph that I've been working on that I'm going to put on video. I've got so many things. I'm just constantly, as a creator, I've got so many things I'm creating. So I make lots of notes. I have tons of notebooks with all my stuff in it. So in volume 1, there's a version of Triumph, the classic face up and face down routine that requires essentially no sleights. What stands out is deceptively very, it's deceptive but simple, but very powerful. And because there's no or very minimal sleights in it, it's very clean. And I know Vernon had many versions of his creation of his plot of Triumph, and that's one of my favorite plots. I have many new versions of Triumph as well. And I can make a whole video just on Triumph with that, which I think I will do in the future. So leave a comment below if you've got any of your favorite tricks from these books, and let's get into it. Let's start open up the conversation. Next one is also in Volume 1 of the Vernon Chronicles, Volume 1, and that would be Vernon's original Cutting the Aces. Now, I learned this many, many years ago, and there's many versions. I remember there's a one-handed version, if I remember right, and that might be this one, but there's so many different versions, right, of Cutting the Aces. And why is it so commercial? Because, you know, when you can cut to the aces, it's very strong off a shuffle deck when the spectator shuffles the deck. And there's many ways to get into that, but it's very commercial and it's a very strong effect. So it's a classic plot, but Vernon's got his original handling here in real depth. It's for serious card workers, and it's very performance worthy. Next, we have the fingerprint card trick. This is another effect described in Volume 1. It's a subtle, intimate trick. It's a close-up. Of course, the fingerprint touch style revelations play very well in close-up magic. Vernon's version is very elegant and psychologically engaging. The next up is from Volume 3, and it's called Joker Monty. It's one of the best effects, and it's contains Vernon's legendary methods. Why? Because Monty tricks are always intriguing and commercial as well, and Vernon's take, especially is documented in these Castle notebooks. It's very clever, and the three-card Monty street scam. And I want to tell a little story about Vernon. He was performing for one of the most famous chess players, and when he did the corner crimp, he didn't do it very obvious. He made it very subtle so that he knew that the person could be watching so closely and burn him like a hawk. And so he really fooled him. Next one, we have a card effect from Volume 2, and that's called Aces to Order. And this is one of the lead him down the garden path type effects, which includes the Aces to Order. Okay. Why? Is because this is very clean, elegant aces plot, and Vernon's routines for ace assemblies or ace locations are very legendary, and Aces to Order provides both utility and strong visual effect, making it particularly useful, a useful go-to effect. Next, we have the Inner Secrets of Card Magic. This is another trilogy. You have Inner Secrets of Card Magic, More Inner Secrets, and Further Inner Secrets. This is another set of books. It's a trilogy of books written by Louis Ganson. And these classic Vernon books are out of print, but they're in their original hardbound forms, they're become very expensive and very highly collectible as well. So if you're a collector, these are worth a lot of money. You can go look on eBay and you'll see these going for like hundreds of dollars. It's crazy. Next, we have one of my favorite books, and I did a whole project. I've done many projects on this, and I've harped on this in other videos, and I'm going to harp on it again. And that's the Stars of Magic in the original edition. So the original first edition of the Stars of Magic, they had Vernon, Slidini, Scarney, Nate Leipzig, and many of the world-class magicians of that day. Um, there's modern reprints. There's modern reprints of this book, but the original is always the best. And if you find the early first editions, they're a prized collector's item. So some of the top 3 tricks or top several tricks of mine that are in the Stars of Magic is, of course, the Triumph is, like I said before, that's always one of my favorite plots, and I have many versions of that. In fact, I think I did a whole project on the Triumph. I'm going to check. I've done so many things. I've got over 250 products on my website. You can click and see. And by the way, if you put in your name and email, I'll send you 14 free tricks. And I've got a brand new magic system. And I just wrote a new book called The Master Magic Guide, which I'm going to link in here as well. And so there's a lot of things to talk about, guys. Next thing we have is one of my favorite, probably one of my favorite of all time card effects, and that's the Ambitious card. And this is one of the top 3 tricks in the Stars of Magic book. And why? Because it's very commercial and it's very strong. Okay. A lot of these books have been overlooked. You know, the best way to hide a good trick is to put it in print, right? Um, Vernon's version of the ambitious card is very good. And if you watch on his video series, and when you compare the videos of books, you see a lot of crossover things. You learn things that you didn't learn in the book and vice versa. But in his Vernon's Revelation series that he did with, I believe, the host was, it was hosted by Michael Amar and uh, Steve Freeman, and also the Canadian magicians, Gary Willett. Yeah, Gary Willett. Gary Willett was the host. Those were like the hosts of it, right? But if you watch those videos, they're very old, but there's very strong material in there. And when Vernon is explaining his ambitious card, there's a lot of phases that he shows on the video that he doesn't show in the book. Like other, bits and pieces with the ambitious card. Like it goes to the top, it goes to the bottom. And this inspired me in my ambitious card that I do in my Vicious Ambitious project, where I make it very visual and it goes to the top and the bottom and it repeats, and I don't overkill it, but it's a very strong effect of it rising and sinking. So this is something to really look into. Okay, so that is a classic, guys, and it's been many of the world's greatest magicians' favorite, like Daryl and on and on. You look at Tommy Wonder, and a lot of the people we're going to talk about in this video, that was one of their favorites. Why? Because it's quick, it's visual, and it cuts to the point, and it's a go-to effect. So it hits hard. Now, he adds psychological misdirection and clean technique and very superior technique in his handlings. Vernon is, well, he's a legend and he's one of the best, right? So next we have in here the Vernon slow motion four aces. And Michael Skinner, by the way, also had his versions of these. So it's good to compare. Also, Steve Freeman had a good variation of this plot as well. But it's good to look at those. You can find Steve Freeman's in the Revelations video series. And Michael Skinner's you can find, I know Michael Skinner's put those in his videos or books somewhere. We'd have to get a citation on that. But leave a comment below if you know a lot of these credits. The credits are a very difficult issue, but they can be found. Now, next thing we have is the slow motion aspect of the slow motion aces is what makes it very magical and deliberate on that. Okay. Next, there's some hidden gems. Well, there's a lot of hidden gems, but there's also very amazing coin magic in there from Ross Bertram, his coin through hand, and also his other rub away. All these things I have like my own variations, which I put into my system, which is the Master Magic University, and it's only $20 a month. So there's a shameless plug for it right there. You get thousands of videos and hundreds of books in there, and I'm constantly adding stuff into there. So if I come up with something, which I always do, like I would say almost every day and every week and every month, I'm adding new material, new magic into the Master Magic University. So, anyways, we have a couple of awesome coin effects from Ross Bertram in there, the coin through hand and the rub away vanish. We have Slidini coin. This has been very overlooked. Not the Slidini one coin routine, which is very incredible, but it's a coin routine that Slidini has in the Stars of Magic, which I think has been very overlooked. And he makes the coin vanish into the spectator's pocket a couple of times, and he does some incredible things with like magic and put pocketing, and it's phenomenal. So that's something it's been very overlooked. I haven't really seen anybody do those routines, although I have learned these, and I have many of my variations of these over the years. So I highly recommend this, guys. And that's number 5. Number 6 is the Larry Jennings book called Jennings 67, and it was put out by Richard Kaufman. And Larry Jennings, incredible card effects, handlings. His handling is a very soft touch. I've never seen someone handle a deck of cards with such a light touch. It shows how much respect he has for the art of magic. So I highly recommend these books, guys. If you want to find the hidden gems, I'm pointing out some of them. There's many more. Leave a comment below if you think I've left anything out and you want to put in your 2 cents. Let's open up the conversation. So Larry Jennings' original card magic, his effects, his routines, his methods, his handlings, and his original sleights, a cornerstone for serious sleight of hand students of the art of magic. Early editions are out of print and very expensive on these books, guys. Some of the highlights is Depth Thrust 1 and Depth Thrust 2. Many years ago when I put out my Pro Magic for Beginners, I put I think a version of the depth thrust 2 in there that I had at that time that I was working on when I was working on this stuff. I mean, I'm working on a lot of new stuff, which I'm going to have to talk about. A lot of my new magic. This is some older stuff, but this is very inspirational. As a creator, this is where I get a lot of my ideas from, is from the classics. You want to be very strong in the classics. So the next one we have is search and stop. It's a search and stop effect. This routine is another favorite. In this effect, a selected card is shuffled in the deck. Then the spectator and the magician transfer cards from the deck or pockets, stopping them when the spectator says stop. Surprisingly, the card is in your hand is a selected card. So it's a stop effect, and it's really incredible. There's also a searcher's effect. I don't know if it's in there. It might be in another one. Probably in another one. That was a more modern thing. Why it's great? It's interactive. It's a spectator's interactive effect, and it's actually very deceptive. And it's one of his signature pieces in the book. The next one we have is the Los Angeles Hop. It's Larry Jennings' take on the classic biddle trick or the stop trick. Why it's great is because many magicians regard Larry Jennings' handling as more natural and smoother than the traditional versions. Okay, so that's one of the classic biddle handlings. Next up, we have the expert card technique. Okay, the expert card technique. And the expert card technique is one of my favorite books, and I've done many reviews on that, and I will do many more. And this is like known as the one of the Bibles of card magic. I mean, there's there's the expert at the card table, which is like one of the Bibles, but this is also, I believe, one of the Bibles of intermediate to advanced card work. The early hardback editions and slipcased printings are now out of print, and they're very highly collectible, and they go for hundreds of dollars and stuff. You can look on eBay and stuff like that. You can learn many amazing card effects in here and many amazing sleights. Some of the highlights are a rising cards, which my friend Gordon does. Gordon Bolin, he showed me, and he's one of the only guys that I've seen. Only a couple people do his rising card. It's called the Witchcraft Card Rise, and it's in this book, and it's been overlooked, and it's really, really incredible, guys. So if you have the book, pull it out and go look for the Witchcraft Card Rise and learn it now. Next, there's one of my favorite plots, and that's many of the four ace assemblies variations in here. There's several four aces routines and assemblies in this book under the title of Birds of the Feather chapter, including assemblies and affinity methods. Why they're great? Because ace tricks are one of the staples of card magic, and the techniques in the Gene Hugard and Frederick Browie book are very clean and very practical and pragmatic. Their incredible methods and techniques give you both the technical depth and the strong presentational potential. Next up is one of my favorites from the Expert Card Technique by Gene Hugard and Frederick Browie, and that's any card at any number. And there's a really great hidden version in there, which is the triple lift. I'll let you go in there and find it, but it's probably one of my favorite in the book. And then there's a Think of Card by Paul Rossini. There's also many versions of Ed Marlo's Think of Card in Ed Marlo's material, but that's inspired from kind of this. And it's in the Mental Discoveries chapter, and it's the effect where the spectator just thinks of a card, they don't select it, and you perform some unveiling thought reading effect. And why it's incredible is because it adds a strong mental effect to your card magic toolkit, and it's relatively foundational, gives you a clean, classical, psychological card effect, mental card effect. Next up, number 8, we have the complete works of Derek Dingle, and this was put out by Richard Kaufman many years ago. And one of the greatest technicians in close-up magic was Derek Dingle. He had one of the best pass in the world. How do I know? Because I've talked with Richard Kaufman and Bill Kalush, and one of my old magicians that I really liked was Jeff Lotta, and he had one of the best passes, and he showed me the real work on that, and so did Chris Kenner and many other people. But this book is a hidden gem because I think it's lost in the shuffle, so to speak, because it has Derek Dingle, who's one of the greatest. He was a performer and a creator. He was one of those rare kind of magicians that can do both. And some of the highlights of my favorite tricks that are in here, I mean, you can mention in your comments below. It's the matrix with the torn pieces of card, where he does the matrix with the pieces, and at the end they restore. And instead of covering it with cards, you can cover it with like postcards. This is really incredible. Um, it's one of Derek Dingle's signature effects. The rollover aces is another signature that's in there. The rollover aces was created by Ron Fair, which was a good friend of my mentor Alan Ackerman, and he also has stuff in the Apocalypse. If you look in the Apocalypse, I think it's in volume 1 through 5. You can find his uh, red and black effects, Sandstorm. I forget the name of them, different ones, but he's really incredible, Ron Fair. So I want to mention him. He's kind of a lost in the shuffle kind of magician. He's a one. He's the creator of the rollover aces, and of course that was made popular by Michael Amar, who performed a really incredible version of that. It stands out because it's technically elegant. It uses a clever back color changes, has a very polished presentation, especially the version of Michael Amar's, which you should look on YouTube and watch the performance. He performed it on TV and stuff like that. Another highlight of the book is a quick D-way, which is it's a variation of the Anman Christ alignment move and the D'Amico change, Karma D'Amico change. Why it's a strong effect is because it's fast, deceptive. It's a passive trick that combines alignment moves with subtle switches, card switches. It's great for close-up card magic and makes a powerful use of sleight of hand in one small space. Next, we have the deluxe double color changing aces. Why it's a compelling and awesome card effect is the ace routines are always classics, but Derek Dingle's handling here is very refined. Um, the deluxe double color chain makes for a visually stunning card effect, showcasing his card mastery and great card manipulation. So that is for that one. Number 9, we have the Collected Almanac. That's one of my favorite books because there's so many different magicians in there. Many famous magicians like Vernon, Larry Jennings, Ed Marlo, and many others throughout, Max Maven, on and on, appear throughout this Collected Almanac. It's collected of his old Richard Kaufman's old magazines, um, and it's a huge volume packed with tons of incredible unpublished magic, close-up magic in particular, card magic, coin magic, and other things as well. So some of the highlights of tricks in there is the Astro card by Larry Jennings. It's a very clever. Um, the card is placed on the card case. On the card case, the hand is simply waved over it, and the card magically appears inside the case. It has a very visual, magical transpositional field. It comes from Larry Jennings, who's known for his incredible, impossible card magic, and he has a very natural approach to card magic. Next, one of my favorites in that book is called Up the Ladder Aces. It's a very flashy ace production from Michael Skinner, and why it's great because ace productions are always solid crowd pleasers, and Michael Skinner's Up the Ladder Aces approach adds a visual, flashy, and kind of flourishy vibe to it with a very clean Richard Kaufman presentation. Next up, we have the Digital Copper Silver, which is a David Roth routine, and it's an incredible coin magic effect where a silver coin apparently changes from your fingertip, and there's a clever switch such that the spectator ends up holding a different coin. Why it's such a great effect is that David Roth was one of the greatest, probably one of the greatest coin magicians of all time, and he still is. And I highly recommend his book, which is Expert Coin Magic. If you don't have that, you really want to get that too. And this routine combines clever sleight of hand with clever psychology. It's very practical and pragmatic. It's a strong for close up and showcases David Roth's technical mastery. Okay, next up we have the Kabbalah Aces, which is created by Peter Kane, and it's a packet ace effect with a Paula Paul wallet ending. Next one is from this book. These are favorites. The Sign Card by Brother John Hammond. It's a classic sign card revelation. The Sonic Squeeze by Michael Amar, which is a incredible 4-coin production routine. It's a good for opening for the coin routine. And then now we go to number 10. Number 10 is the Books of Wonder, volumes 1 and 2 by Tommy Wonder. These are considered two of the finest magic books ever written because of also the psychology that's in the book and everything like that. Both volumes are currently out of print and extremely sought after by magicians, combining deep magical theory, practical, commercial, professional routines, and Tommy Wonder's brilliant thinking. Some of the highlights in here are his Tommy Wonder's 2 cup and ball routine. This is probably Tommy Wonder's most famous close-up routine. It's a very amazing effect. It uses 2 large cups and some pom-pom balls. And Tommy Wonder builds each through these phases, visible penetrations, unexpected vanishes, and finally a fantastic final load where the bag reappears inside the cups. Why it's great is because it's theatrical, it's emotionally engaging, and it has elements of surprise and suspense in it, and it uses a very clever psychological structure. Rather than just the old vanishing, appearing types of cups and balls, the routine feels like more like a story and with tension and surprise and a satisfying finale. So this is a masterpiece of close-up magic. So I highly recommend that. Next one, a favorite from there, is called the Tame card, which is like the opposite of the Wild card. The Wild card plot was created, the original plot, by Peter Kane many years ago, and you can find it in old magic magazines. The Tamed card is the effect is a selected card doesn't match a packet of predictions, and the magician tries to force it, but instead the entire packet transforms card by card until they all match. So this is really, and A.T.F.U.S did a version of this with a blank card that it's worth looking into. And so not only is it a technical, incredible sleight of hand card trick, but it's well structured psychologically, highly deceptive, and it's a very strong theatrical piece. So then we have from Volume 1, Magic Ranch. The effect is a Don Allen style card and egg prediction, but Tommy Wonder adds his own twist to it. A plastic egg appears on the table, surprisingly off to the side, and then when it's open, a miniature duplicate of the chosen card is inside, while the rest of the deck has undergone a transformation. Why it's great? It's quirky, it's out of the box, it's theatrical, it's a very memorable piece, and it's a very original. The egg appearing far away, an unexpected duplicate card, exemplifies Tommy Wonder's skill in combining strong effect, creative misdirection with great presentation. Now, these magicals showcase different styles. The cups and balls, the 2 cup, the packet card magic, the tame card, and the prediction transposition, the magic ranch. It just showcases the different capabilities as a not only close-up magician but parlor and stage magician. And classically, there's only 2, and that be the drawing room and close-up, I guess they would call it. So stage and parlor. So there's many ways to break it down, but traditionally they didn't break it down like that. In the old school way, there was only 2. There was the drawing room, which is like the parlor or the salon type of magic that Hofstadter created, by the way, and then there was the stage magic. So as a general practitioner, Tommy Wonder did show his mastery of more than just close up. So there you have it, guys. Those are some of the best top 10 out of print magic books. So if you can find them, go find them and find those gems, and keep it surreal, guys. So if you like, please hit the thumbs up button and like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the link and you can get 14 free magic tricks now. Also, check out my new book called Master Magic Guide that I just came out with today. And if you'd like to learn magic and save over 40 years, click on the link and check out my Master Magic University. It's only $20 a month, and you get access to thousands of magic. I teach close-up, parlor, and stage, and I teach many of my originals and many of the classics, and it includes hundreds of books in there. So it will save you a lot of money and will get you to a master magician straight away. So keep it surreal, guys, and you have a great night. Thank you.